Today, I'm going to make a dark chocolate cake with pink icing in the middle, covered in chocolate icing. The ingredients are listed here as well as below, so get yours and follow along. So the first step in making the chocolate cake, I want to sift together all the dry ingredients. The sugar. Now the reason I sift everything together is so that the cake will be light. And also that when you are mixing the dry and wet ingredients together, you want to be able to not have any clumps, not have any different types of, to make sure the batter is smooth. I'm going to put in the cocoa. Baking powder, baking soda, and salt. I'm going to sift all these together. You can really tell the difference in the cake when it's been sifted together, because when you're making it, that is, because it's really going to have a smooth texture to the cake. And as you can see, even right now, I have some things at the bottom of the sifter. So now, lastly, I'm going to add the flour. All-purpose flour. I'm going to sift it. And then I'm going to give these a stir so I can combine them. I'm going to use a whisk. I'm using dark chocolate cocoa. So you might be using regular or dark chocolate. It just depends on what you want it to come out like or your taste. Mixing this, it already feels fluffy. No clumps. It's gonna turn out really good. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix together the wet ingredients. For the wet ingredients, I have the milk. I'm using a larger bowl for the wet ingredients because I'm gonna pour the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and combine them. The oil. I'm going to have some melted butter and vanilla. Whenever I cook, I always use some quality vanilla because you can really taste the difference in the vanilla that you use. So I'm going to use quality vanilla. Now I'm going to blend these together until they're well mixed. So now I'm going to add eggs one at a time, and I'm going to blend. I like to do this on all my cakes. I feel like it makes it more moist, adds to the softer and texture of the cake. My last egg. Now that I have the dry ingredient mixture and the wet ingredient mixture, I'm going to pour the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. I'm going to pour half of it in, mix it, and then pour the other half in and mix it. Now that I've added the first half of the dry ingredients, I'm about to add the second half, and I'm going to mix that together. As you can see, this batter is really thick right now. But one of the things that I'm gonna do is add the boiling hot water. And once I add the boiling hot water at the end, it's gonna really thin this batter out. Last step is gonna add this boiling water. Pour that into the mixture. So I can make sure that everything is well mixed. Blend it one more time. Now I'm gonna turn it up and I'm gonna blend it at a higher speed. Okay, you're gonna want to do that for about a minute, and that's to add to the fluffiness of the cake after it's finished. Just so you can see the consistency of it. Now that the cake batter is completely combined, I'm going to spray these pans to prepare them to fill with cake batter with some cooking nonstick spray. I'm going to do 4 layers. I'm going to pour the mixture evenly into all 4 of the pans, and then we'll be ready to bake. Now that I've poured a little bit in each cake pan, I'm just gonna go back around and make sure I even them all out. Now I have all of the 4 of the pans filled evenly with the mixture. I'm going to put them in. I'll put them in for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to rotate them. Basically, I'm going to move the ones in front of the oven to the back and the ones in the back of the oven to the front. That way they bake evenly. Now I'm going to make the icing. The icing I'm going to make in 2 different batches. One batch is going to be the chocolate icing and one batch is going to be the pink icing. To make the icing, first thing that I need to do, we're starting off with the chocolate icing that is sift the cocoa powder. And I'm going to add the butter, which is at room temperature, so it's very soft. And I'm going to combine the cocoa powder and the butter with a blender. Now that I have combined the cocoa powder and the butter, I'm going to add the confection sugar and the milk. What I'm going to do is add about a cup of confection sugar and about 1/3 of the milk. Then I'm going to combine all of that together, and then I'm going to continue to do that until the confection sugar and the milk is already all combined. Add a little bit of the confection sugar. A little bit of milk. And I'm going to mix those together on high for about a minute. Okay, I'm ready to add some more confection sugar and milk. So you want about a cup of it. I got that. I'm gonna add the rest of the confection sugar and milk and then blend it up really good. Now the last step to creating the frosting is adding the vanilla. So I'm gonna add half of the vanilla that I have for the frosting. That's half. And I'm gonna blend that until well combined. Now this frosting is complete. Now I'm going to move on to make the pink frosting. Now to get started on the pink frosting, I'm going to put the butter in. I'm pretty much going to follow the same steps that I did with the chocolate frosting, except I'm not going to add the cocoa. Instead, I'm going to add pink food color after I add the vanilla. So the first step is going to be to blend up the butter. Once I blend up the butter, I'm going to add about a cup of the confection sugar, as well as part of the milk. Before I turn up the speed on the blender, I'm going to scrape the sides. Now I'm going to add the vanilla. Now that I've completely incorporated the vanilla, I'm going to add the food coloring. So I'm going to start off with a little bit, and I'm going to incorporate it. And then I'm going to see if I want to add a little bit more, depending on the color. Now as you see, I have added the pink food color, and I think that is a pretty good amount of pink. So it's going to show up really brightly in contrast to the very dark cake, as well as the outer icing that we're going to put on that's going to be dark as well. Now add a thin layer of icing, put it in the refrigerator for 5 minutes, then take it out and add the second layer of icing.